Again to the Embassy World 8-Ball Championships. And we're made to understand that Carl's father gets more nervous by the minute. The closer that Carl edges to the finish line here, the nerves might really start to show with his dad.
Open table.
There you see Jim Morris. I believe he's changed his clothes, ready for the win. I think, you know, you see all his family laughing. There, the Carl's family laughing and joking. Even Keith can muster a smile. I think he actually he knows the outcome of this now as well.
I think that was more of a nervous smile than anything else.
That tells the story of this match for me right now. Not a lot Keith Brewer has done has turned out magic. When he's had his chances, he's not used them. And certainly this. The exclamation point to the sentence right now that's being written by Carl Morris.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think Keith Brewer has played his last shot in this year's World Championships. Yeah. What a chance for the young man from the Isle of Sheppey.
And I think he knows it. You can see he just wants to get it over with.
I'll tell you what, he's fairly flying through the balls for a winning frame.
I think he's a very nervous young man, and look at the smile on his face. He knows it. 2 pots away. Make that 1 pot away. The crowd senses it. The 8-ball is down, and Carl Morris has just become the youngest Embassy Whirlpool champion since this tournament's history. What a feat. He's knocked out the UK perennial #1, Keith Brewer. A resounding scoreline, 11-5. Well done, Carl Morris. Happiness reigns supreme in the Morris household. Hugs all around from the English captain to his English teammate, Carl Morris. What a final. What an event. Tony, I don't think Carl Morris has played better in his life, and he saved his best for when it was needed most.
Absolute superb performance from Carl Morris. He's been absolutely superb throughout the tournament. And what a show he's put on for everybody tonight to win his title. Brilliant performance from a rising young star.
Kenny, a victory worthy of a champion.
Absolutely. In his first game he played against South African, and he was 7-4 down, came back to beat the guy 8-7, and here he just won the world championship. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent.
And a young man who can barely contain his emotion. The trophy is now his. And I'm made to understand now that our finalist, Keith Brewer, joins Jonathan in the studio.
Thank you, Chairman. While the celebrations continue outside, I'm afraid I have Keith Brewer with me, obviously a very dejected Keith Brewer, but I think that last frame where you went for that shot, the white ball went in, it pretty much summed up your day, didn't it?
Yeah, it kind of didn't happen for me today. Started off quite well, got the first, 3 frames under my belt. But to be fair to Carl, he's come back and played excellent, and I didn't feel like I'd done much wrong. The way he come back at me was superb, and that's why he's one of the top players in the UK.
I was going to say, in the pressure of the final, we've been talking about the pressures that are on all of you players throughout this tournament, and you're bound to make the odd shot, which you didn't like. But Carl, whenever you made 1 shot wrong, just came straight back at you, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of put me under so much pressure. I mean, I was playing quite well in the first session. I started off quite well in the second as well, but he just weren't missing a thing. And even when he had difficult shots, he was kind of making them up every time, and he was putting me under so much pressure. And I did try. I didn't give up. I kept trying, and no matter what happened, I just couldn't seem to get anything to work.
We've been talking, obviously through the week, and you mentioned 93 where you had a chance there in the semi-finals. You've been there or thereabouts. But of the players that you've seen coming through, he's just 21 years old. And I mean, when I think of that black off 3 cushions a few frames ago, I think we all looked in complete astonishment. What do you think of this player?
Well, I see him do it week in, week out, funny enough. he's like, I've known him since he was kind of about 16 years old, and I've seen him kind of rise up through the ranks. And the likes of him and the likes of Darren Appleton and Phil Harrison, they're all coming up, and they're like tremendous players. But the way that this guy's like progressed through the ranks really is just incredible, and he deserves to win it. I mean, he's played fantastic all week. He's a very good friend of mine, and I'm not that upset that I've lost to him because I couldn't lose to a better player today.
Well, that's a fair comment. Now, what about your own game? Because I know you've been trying desperately to win this. You finally got to the final. What about next year? Everybody was willing you on at the start of this match to try and make it happen. Will you be back to do it again next year?
Oh, well, I've had a lot of support this week, not just off my friends, but just off everyone from all the other countries. I think they all realise how badly I want to try and win this tournament. It's my 6th attempt, first time I've made the final. But I'll be back next year to give it another go. And Carl will be there. He's the one now that everyone's going to be shooting at. So let's see how he feels for a change.
All right, fair comment. Well, we look forward to seeing Keith Brewer back here. Let's take a look at those final shots now that made it all happen for the new world champion, Carl Morris. It really was a fantastic finish for him. Touching moments, and those two very delighted men are with me at the moment. Start with the champion himself, and we've been talking to all the commentators, we've been talking to Lee Kendall, we've been talking to everybody, including Keith there. We all thought you played brilliant. How did you think you played?
Well, when I was 3-0 down, I was playing a type of game. I was being a little bit negative because I was a bit nervous. But after I went 3-0 down, I knew then I had to change my game and just go out and enjoy it. I thought even if I lost, I'd done well. So I took the pressure off myself, and I didn't miss after that.
Jim, obviously you're the very proud father, but also the England manager. How did you think he played? Because despite the fact that before this game, he wasn't feeling well at all, was he?
Well, I think he's excelled himself, to be quite honest. I didn't really expect him to beat Keith. I mean, Keith is the master. He's the governor. And I'm lost for words. I can't say a lot.
We did actually, I was going to say, we did actually see you slip out of the auditorium towards the end there. Were you just too nervous?
That's me with Carla. At that stage, I'm afraid if I hadn't have gone out, we'll like to go and get some beta blockers. No, I couldn't watch it. It was getting too close.
Have you enjoyed your championship? You must have done.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing. I was happy I won it, but I also feel for Keith because he's the one who brought me up. When I first started playing pool, when I was about 16, he took me under his wing and he taught me all he knew. So I just want to say thanks to him for that.
Well, you can't say fairer than that. My thanks to both of you for coming in. I know you've got to get down to the celebrations and, of course, your prize money. Well done, Carl Morris. Well, it has been a fantastic tournament for everybody playing. We've had some great champions, including the ladies, the men's and the team competition. Carl Morris is the individual champion for the men's. Linda Ledbetter wins her 4th world title in the ladies. And the team championship went to a surprise Wales team who finally defeated England. Well, without further ado, let's get down to the presentations now with your MC, Alan Hughes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the presentation party consisting of Graham Blashill, the Sales and Marketing Director of Imperial Tobacco, accompanied by our Tournament Director, George Harwood. Now we come first to the runner-up, and it's a cheque for £3,500. Our congratulations for another fantastic tournament goes to Keith Brewer. element of the winner is a cheque for £7,500. It's also the lovely trophy, and the title of the 1998 Embassy World 8-ball pool champion goes to the 21-year-old Carl Morris.
No question about it. Blackpool illuminations will be lit up for our new world champion, Carl Morris, tonight. From all of us here in Blackpool, goodbye.